Hello everyone, today I'm going to be looking at pick 4 numbers, but we're going to be looking at the numbers that I would play using the strategy that I talked about in a couple videos ago. And what we're doing in this strategy is we're looking for a pick 4 number, and there has to be a double. No, I can't show you. I'll have to show you on camera, but you put these numbers, you find a double that has, and those doubles have 3 of the same number, and you put those 3 numbers in the tic tac toe, like you're doing a pick 3 tic tac toe grid. You're going to put them in the grid, in the center grid, and then you're going to add one and go all the way around. So these are the numbers that I would pick for the state. I'm going to try and go in every state, or try to do as much states as I can. We're gonna find the numbers that I would play today. Start with Arkansas. What I look for first is a number that has 3 of the same. Well, not 3 of the same. The 2 of the numbers have to be the same, and the other 2 are different. So Arkansas doesn't have it. Don't play Arkansas. California. Okay, California today. You take the 3, the 5, and the 7, and you would put them in the grid. So you make a pick 3 tic-tac-toe grid, and you put the numbers in the center of the grid, and then you just count one, go all the way around, and you'll be able to see your numbers that way. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna play combinations that have 3, 5, and 7 in it, and you're just gonna wheel around that center grid. So anyway, California is good for today, if you want to do that. Colorado, I don't think Colorado has it. Delaware. Okay, Delaware. So if we're doing for Delaware, we would put the 1, 9, and 4 in the grid. For the night, you would put the 5, the 2, and the 8 in the grid. And if you guys don't know what I mean by pick 3 tic-tac-toe grid, just go on YouTube and look up pick 3 tic-tac-toe. It's the same thing. There should be a video out there online about it. Let's go to Florida. Wouldn't play midday, wouldn't play evening. There's no double. Georgia. Okay, so Georgia has a lot. Okay. So for midday, I would put the 8, the 1, and the 3 in the grid. I wouldn't play the evening. The night, I would put the 9, the 7, and the 8 in the grid. Georgia. Idaho. Okay, wouldn't do the day. For the night, I would put the 2, the 0, and the 6 in the grid. That's Idaho. Illinois. I won't play the midday because there's 3 of the same number. And I won't play the evening because there's 3 of the same number. Indiana. Okay, for Indiana midday, I would do the 3, the 2, and the 7 in the grid. For the evening, I would do the 3, the 8, and the 1 in the grid. Indiana, Iowa. Did I just do this one? I think I just did this one. Let's do Kentucky. Okay, so Kentucky, I would do, for midday, I would do the 8, the 3, and the 0 in the grid. I wouldn't do the evening. Louisiana. Nope. No double there. Maine. Okay, so for Maine, for midday, I would do the 6, the 7, the 4 in the grid. And for the evening, I would do the 1, the 6, and the 4 in the grid. Now, I think I made a video about this, so just go back a couple videos and I do kind of explain this. So just go back to that video. It'll clear some things up. Just kind of skim through some of these. In Maryland. Wouldn't do the midday, wouldn't do the evening. And you guys are asking me a lot of times, well, it's personal preference. If you want to do straight or box, it's up to you. But what I would do is I would play box, and I use the Bet Any Sports site, and I would start small at the 25 cents. Start at 25 cents, and then if you see progress, then scale over time. I wouldn't do straights because it'd be a lot more money. Okay, so I wouldn't do midday for Massachusetts. For the evening, I would play the 2, the 1, the 7 in the grid. Michigan. Okay, so Michigan, I would do midday, 6, 1, and 2 in the grid. I wouldn't play the evening. Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't have it. Mississippi. Wouldn't play Mississippi today. Missouri. Wouldn't play the midday. If I was playing the evening, I would do the 8, the 6, and the 1 in the grid. Montana doesn't have it. Nebraska. Nebraska don't have it either. New Hampshire. Okay, so if I were doing a midday, I would put the 6, the 7, the 4 in the grid. If I were doing the evening, I would put the 1, the 6, and the 4 in the grid. New Jersey. I wouldn't do midday because there's 3 the same number. The evening, I would put the 5, the 3, and the 2 in the grid. New Mexico. I would do the 3, the 7, the 4 in the grid. I wouldn't do the evening because there's 3 of the same number. New York. I wouldn't do the midday because there's 3 of the same number. Evening, I wouldn't do this one because there's 3 of the same number. North Carolina. I don't think they have it. Oh, yeah, they do. Let's see. I wouldn't do the daytime, and I wouldn't do the evening. North Dakota. Wouldn't do North Dakota. Ohio. Wouldn't do the midday. Wouldn't do the evening. Oklahoma. Nothing for Oklahoma. Oregon has a lot. Let's see. Okay, wouldn't do the 1 p.m. Wouldn't do the 4 p.m. I would do the 7 p.m. I would play the 6, the 0, and the 5 in the grid. I wouldn't do the 10 p.m. Pennsylvania. I wouldn't do the day. And the evening, I would do the 1, the 2, and the 3 in the grid. Yeah, let's do Rhode Island. I wouldn't do the midday. If I were doing the evening, I would do the 6, the 9, and the 4 in the grid. Refer to my recent videos on this strategy. Let's do South Carolina. Okay. I wouldn't do the midday. If I were doing the evening, I would put the 8, the 7, and the 0 in the grid. That was South Carolina. South Dakota, I don't think they have it. Too small of a state. South Dakota, Tennessee. Tennessee. Wouldn't do the morning. If I were doing the midday here, I would put the 0, the 5, and the 4 in the grid. If I was doing the evening, I'd put the 2, the 0, and the 9 in the grid. Texas, good old Texas. Okay, so I wouldn't do the morning because there's 2 of the same number. The day, I'd put the 2, the 1, the 0 in the grid. For the evening, I'd put the 1, the 4, and the 8 in the grid. For the night, I would put the 0, the 7, and the 8 in the grid. Let's do Vermont. Okay, Vermont, I would do the 6. For the midday, I would do the 6, the 7, and the 4 in the grid. For the evening, I would do the 1, the 6, and the 4 in the grid. And when you put everything in the grid, you'll be able to see clearly the numbers that you're supposed to play. And if you also do, when you're making the grid, also do your mirror numbers, because when you do your mirror numbers, you'll see from both of them, both for the tic-tac-toes, you'll see duplicate numbers in both of them, and those numbers have a pretty good chance of hitting. So keep that in mind. It's Vermont, Virginia. Virginia, if I was doing the day, I would do the 6. Wait, those are 2 of the same numbers. Cancel that. I wouldn't do the day. And I wouldn't do the night. Washington doesn't have it. West Virginia. Okay, so if I was doing this one, I would do the 0, the 9, the 4 in the grid. Wisconsin. Okay, I wouldn't do the midday. If I was doing the evening here, I would do the 0, the 1, the 6 in the grid. And is that the last one? I don't think Wyoming has it. Nope. Okay, so those are the numbers. I hope this helps you guys out. Now remember, I'm not responsible for any profit or loss. This is for entertainment purposes only. These strategies that I discussed are not a guarantee that you are going to win. But if you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. It will ensure in the future that I'll make more. The more people like this video, the more people subscribe, the more people leave comments, the more I will make these videos. So anyway, other than that, stay tuned. I probably won't have another video for a couple days with the lottery stuff, but probably by Saturday I'll make another one. But other than that, take care.